Today on Gamers Couch.
2014 in review.
Hello.
Hey.
No funny antlers and Santa heads, no more gift unwrappings, because Christmas is done. So's the Advent calendar season thing. And it's time to review the year. So...
Next year.
Next year? No, I'm not from the future.
Last year?
Yeah. Let's go with this year.
So 2010?
14. Come on. So, we have a tradition in our family, so our little family here. We, whenever we have a big happening like our wedding, for example, or when we go someplace for festivities or vacation or whatever, or even at the end of the year, we play this high-low game afterwards, meaning that we say what we liked best about something, what we found most surprising, so reviewing this kind of a thing.
You may know it as communication or talking to each other.
But you don't do that in a good marriage, I heard. So
it's rare.
We're still doing it. Anyways, communicating. So we thought it would be a great thing to also apply this kind of review stuff that we do to board games and to Gamers Couch. That's why we have a...
And that's not because we don't have played a game which we could talk about. We actually have quite a lot of games still in the queue to talk about. But,
yeah. So there is 2 IKEA shelves that 2.5 that we can review instantly. But we're gonna start with that
you mean
next week.
Shelf space is not entire shelves, right?
No, shelf space, like boxes. Sorry.
Do we have...
No,
did I miss something?
No, that's just the 2.5 there.
There's a good 8 to 10
games that we could review today, but we decided not to because it's the last Gamers Couch of 2014. And we played a lot of games this year. We had a lot of various kinds of experiences, good and bad. And we're gonna share with you what the gaming year was like for us and just reminisce, I think. So lean back, out of autofocus. No, was it just as...
Let me get the dual horns. Ready? Okay.
That doesn't look comfy. Are you comfortable?
I'm super comfortable.
No, he is not. So, we have the list. Da-da! Brrr, glare, shiny things. About all of the things, and we might just add some categories on the fly. And we don't know the answers of the other ones, so we find out what the respective other person thinks about certain categories that I just scribbled down on the fly a couple of days ago. And mine, a couple of days ago, on the 12th of December, because my list here is as per the 12th of December, and I might add some on the fly that I did not write down.
Mine is of, what is today? 28? 27?
28.
Mine is of the morning of 28th.
So the most recent news, it's just like in news.
It's not me being lazy and procrastinating and not doing it. It's about having the freshest kind of information for it.
Fresh out of the brain into the paper. So let's start.
Yeah. We go by, I guess we both have the same kind of list.
Yeah.
So you start with the best board game moment?
Yeah, I do. And it's so not surprising. My best board game moment was happening in May this year when our good friend Jim from San Francisco came to visit us and had a very special game in his luggage that he brought for us because it's not available anymore, and that is White Moon of the Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories, of course, is my favorite all-time game so far, and it was challenged a lot of times, but it's still there. And White Moon is my favorite expansion, and just seeing it on the table, like, oh, greatest moment. I was so happy to get the White Moon expansion in our collection. It was lovely. Best moment.
Okay.
How about yours?
Well, since this is a game, I have to be cheating, and I actually have a couple of things that kind of rank the same. Let me try to put it in perspective. So, I'd say on the third place, I put Essen this year. The entire meeting up with folks, going over the fair, playing games, at the warm up, getting to meet Bruce in person. So we met a lot of really nice people. We met a lot of people I've known as designers from before, but I haven't met them personally. So that was a kind of really great highlight. And on second place, there's another gaming convention, which is not really a convention because it was our gaming weekend with friends, hanging around, playing games, and just having an extended weekend of amazing fun. That was great, and yeah, that was quite enjoyable. So as you can see, I have no specific moment in a game where I could say, yeah, that die roll was awesome.
It wasn't during a game for me either,
Yeah,
but it's like having the box and like, yes.
There's moments like those, but I don't want to say I tend to forget them. I know that they're still there, but I could not pin down particularly in that game this or that happened. That is very rare that happened. And on the first place, because it was recent and I'm Cult of the New, I very much liked playing a game for the first time with my niece this year. She got a game for Christmas and I taught it to her and we played together and she really enjoyed it. And there's something very delightful having a small kid playing a game and being very happy about losing.
Yeah, she was
she was happy for everybody else who won.
She was cheering for him and her dad winning, so she's just very cute anyways, but during that game it's like, oh.
And she got one of these really nice Hava games.
The Little Magician, if you know it.
Yeah, and that is a game that comes with a little how's it called?
A magnet
magician's wand that has a magnet on top, and you have to lift up. It's a memory training game, which isn't too hard, but there is still something magical to those. If you have a little kid, it's like, oh, this is a magic wand. Yeah, see how it magically can lift up the hats, and it's like, oh, and everybody's kind of in awe because it's so trivial, and we kind of forget that in our
day-to-day life.
No, in our
in the way that we
other
play
board
games,
where we kind of take some things for granted, or we look at presentation in terms of does it have nice pictures or stuff. But sometimes you have to kind of go back and reimagine being a kid. Some of those things are way more enjoyable.
And it's like she's like to the mid thigh. That's how tall she is in comparison to Daniel.
Nothing. So how many reference ducks tall?
A couple.
10.
So she's maybe she's up to my waist. That should be 80 or 90 centimeters high. She's half my size, and I'm 160.
Tiny.
So she is very, very sweet, and she's like standing next to him, like tugging on his sweater. Uncle Daniel, can you teach me that game? It's like, yes, of course.
And then I have to read all the 2 pages of the manual and teach it to her. But that is another nice thing about that. Typically, so she has a even tinier brother.
He's only 1 year.
They get smaller. And typically there's already some animosities about who owns what and who is allowed to get something. And it's for me, it's nice to see the kids not fighting and just enjoying playing together as
Yeah, that was
something
really
nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that was my number one moment. Honorable mention is from that gaming weekend, and if someone is watching that who saw that, all I can say is playing Sentinels of the Multiverse Mantis style,
Yeah.
which looks super dumb if you do that and think that it's cool, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I just
See,
damn.
Obviously, it's funny because someone else already.
You had to be there.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
it's a kind of spur of the moment kind of thing. With playing Sentinels of the Multiverse and someone playing Mr. Fixer for the first time and switching to Mantis style, and then
Super
in all
cool.
seriousness going like Mantis style.
Yeah.
It looked super stupid.
But funny.
Yeah.
So
everybody laughed at him. So
yeah. So on the other end of the spectrum is, of course, what is the worst or most challenging gaming experience or moment, I should say, that we had. And this time you will start, my dear.
Yeah, that I had a really tough time finding something for that. It's not because there's rarely a moment where I'm really kind of angry. So there's another category in here that is games that disappointed you, and some of the stuff kind of blends together on that point. The thing I clearly remember as the one I was most annoyed by this year, which is not necessarily particular, but I'm gonna pick that game as an example for the issue at hand, is Machina Arcana and manuals, or specifically rules that are not clarified or rules that are ill organized. There's so many games that get it right, but there seems to be the never-ending kind of games that are just terrible at not only explaining how the game works, but just to organize the rules for reference. And by now, you might think that is a problem that has been solved, and there's so many games that do it really well by having either a quick start play guide and a reference guide that is really nice and comprehensive, where you kind of, if you go from a game that is badly explained to one that is great in doing that, it's like almost like having a revelation. So I've almost put that under the greatest gaming moment. But no, so my thing that I'm really getting annoyed by is if you play a game and you have to look up everything, and then even then it doesn't come clear, and you have to go online and then see that everybody else is also speculating about that stuff. So that manuals is my kind of most worst, and I know that I'm really hard to stand when I'm getting into that mood. So
oh yeah.
it's tough
Things
for everybody
could be
around.
thrown.
Yeah, but that is even worse than me losing. I don't like losing. I mean, obviously, it comes with playing games, but you kind of, well, at least for me, I want to win when I start playing a game.
You know, if it's a good fight and you still lose, then I'm fine with it. But I'm having losing something.
So what's your...
on my most challenging, I should say. It's not worst. Well, one of them is worse because I was very close to really rage flipping the table this year, or rage quitting a certain game and saying, this is never going to be on my table again. So the first one, which is challenging, just because it's the nature of the game and it annoys me because I didn't even have a chance to win. Like, there was no fair fight, was Shadowrun. But the game is designed that way. It really hands you your ass. And there were...
And that's Shadowrun Crossfire.
Yeah, Shadowrun Crossfire. Sorry. So, yeah. So, of the 3 or 4 rounds that I played, 2 of them were like really fair fighting and still losing, and I didn't mind. But 1 or 2 of them, in the second turn, we were done because there was no chance, no cards open in the black market that we could buy, that we could use. And it was even worse with only 2 characters. The 4 characters was a bit more on the easy mode thing, if you could say it, with a game like Shadowrun Crossfire. But I was very annoyed by that you don't even have a chance. But it wasn't the worst moment. It was just the most challenging one.
Just quickly on that, I kinda agree. Then again, I realize for me that is a game in MMO terms where you have to grind through and level up your character to get somewhere, and you could kind of skip that, but you're supposed to lose a lot.
Yes, but a lot, like in turn 4, 5, 6, no problem. Not in turn 2. So it's like, why do I even separate all the cards and get all the decks ready and then get my ass handed like in 2 turns, which is 5 minutes.
So now I have to ask, why Shadowrun and why not Legendary Encounters? Because the setup time for Legendary...
Oh, that one is coming.
Okay, because Legendary has more setup time.
Yeah, we didn't play it by the 12.
Okay.
But that one is very... Last night, we played 2 rounds of Legendary. First round, it was very much on the Shadowrun thing. Mm-hmm. The second game was, awesome. Great. It was challenging, but we had a chance, and in the end, we won. But even would we have lost that second game, I would have been totally fine with it, because it was like, you gotta sacrifice sometimes to, I don't know, hit the bigger goal, that kind of feeling. But not if I go down in game 2
have to say,
or in round 2.
For Crossfire, when we played it, we didn't technically lose. We still made it out. So there's...
but that's losing for me.
Perception. No, but for Crossfire, there's different states of winning. There's winning, kind of, where you get
I want to
win. And then there's kind of losing, but you still get out and you get a couple of points. And then there's like, okay, you just got crushed. You don't get anything. And we managed to get out. So.
Yeah, but I'm not... My goal when I play these kinds of games is not to settle for the second place, like getting out. I want to win. And then of course I'm way more pissed off if I'm getting crushed in the second turn already and not even having a chance to get there. But anyways, that was the challenging. There is something way worse, and that is playing for example, Star Wars card game with this lovely person.
I didn't do anything. I just played the card.
He was just playing his deck, and like always with Star Wars, I play the Imperial forces first. He's always the rebels first, and I want it this way. I want to play the bad guys. So we played a couple of rounds and got to know the game, and we saw that there were 2 very powerful cards. One on each side, being Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. If you got them pretty early on, open on your play mat, you had a fair chance to really beat the other one.
And that's base set, nothing fancy.
Yeah, only base set. So then there were a couple of rounds where he got Luke Skywalker really early, and I had pretty much no chance. And then there was this game where the table was nearly flipped, and I was crying just because I was so pissed off. I hardly ever cry if I'm sad. I'm getting the piss off, angry, aggressive tears fairly quickly. So I was sitting there and saying, hey, come on, let's try another round. And please, just, again, in the testing, getting to know the game phase, I said, please don't play Luke Skywalker early on. Put him on if you have him in the middle of the game or something, but not in like the 2, 3 first moves that you have. What's he doing? Of course, he's playing Luke Skywalker, and again, I'm losing horribly.
No, you didn't.
And that was the point. No. The game after was the making up for it game. But I lost horribly, and I was crying because I was so pissed off, and I was angry at him for playing Luke Skywalker, and I was ready to never play this game again. And then he was, I don't know if you were surprised or stunned that I could get so angry. But then he said, you know what? We're gonna play around now with the open cards, and I show you that even if I have Luke Skywalker out really early on, you can win. And then, of course,
wasn't that even that game? I think I didn't win the second time, but I said, no, let's play the rest of the round with...
No, you said, come on, we give it one more go, otherwise I'm gonna play it with the guys and not with you anymore. That was the worst gaming moment ever. That moment when he just plays the card and I'm like, fuck you, cursing real bad. And in multiple languages, I have to say, like, realizing, it's like, I know we are divorced when we game because we don't play nice with each other, and that's something that I like. But to the extent where I get so pissed off that I'm shaking and crying, and then you play that fucking card was just too much. Yeah, that was my worst gaming moment. I still like both games though I had very bad experiences with them this year. That doesn't mean they're not gonna be on my table. It's like
I had a couple of those back in the day when learning Magic. So there's and that was playing it not even against a human opponent, that was playing against the AI of the computer game, which it was. I didn't know at the time, but it was cheating at that time.
Yeah.
So it was difficult, but I know that frustration that's coming up, and the what I've found frustrating in that kind of ties into the rules thing. Sometimes you don't really grok the game or the kind of what you're supposed to do to
or you just don't have the cards. Your deck is lovely, but you're just not getting any cards.
I would say the Shadowrun thing might be in the same vein where you kind of feel like you don't know what to do, and
it's more like nothing's coming up that I could use over multiple turns. I find that very frustrating.
Yeah, but then you could kind of say, okay, that's just bad luck if it's literally, and you can identify it as being bad luck. But it's frustrating if you don't know. That's why I called it challenging. Something that you could do. I mean, that being said, and I agree with Rado, guy who also has a YouTube channel and actually voted spoilers Crossfire really high on his 2014 list. But he also said that specifically for Crossfire, the obvious choice is usually not the one that will win you the game. So that it is a very thinky game.
It is.
And maybe we would have to play it a couple more times and actually level up to get. Yeah,
that's something that we didn't do. We didn't level up.
Well, we did, but it's like
not with my character.
So minor.
Yeah, not really something that you could. So let me just hold on. Do you want to lean back like that? Because then I'm going to refocus the camera very quickly so that we are in focus like that.
No, I think we're fine with the focus.
Are we? Because the focus is here.
I will jump around the thing. The duck is always very focused anyway.
Yeah. So next one, game surprises, meaning games that surprised you, that you didn't have on your radar, or that you had on your radar but was like, I didn't know that it was that great, that like to that extent.
So for me, don't you have to start?
Yeah.
So go for it.
Dark Tales is number one because we didn't have it on our radars at all, and we just saw it at Spiel, picked it up, and had a lot of fun with it, playing it. So that was one. The second one that is in the same surprise realm is Sushi Dice, because I didn't have it on my radar, found it at Spiel. Also one of the smaller games and a ton of fun, a lot of table time. Fuck. We're definitely married. And the third one for me is Alien Legendary, just because I never saw the movies. I heard them while he watched them, and I was like, no, I'm not going to watch them. This is just not my genre. I'm getting pissed off and scared and whatnot. I don't like it. So I didn't really... I was not looking forward to playing the game as much as I do to other games. But the theme is not too important in the board game, and the mechanics are so great and well enough that they cover anything that might scare me or remind me of the movies, and the game itself is just a very good surprise for me that I enjoyed that much. though I don't like the franchise, I don't like the movies, I don't like the comics things or illustrations, all of that. But
You don't even like how they look?
no, don't like it. It's just something. Even on the cards, I don't like the style too much. But the game itself is so great that it covers all the bad things.
Looking and
I can appreciate the craft behind it, but I don't like the look of the aliens. But I didn't like them even in the movies or on posters.
You haven't seen the movies.
I peeked up I was sitting on the floor painting while he was watching the movies, all of them in one go, or over like 2 evenings on our big screen, like we have a video screen, whatnot. So huge thing, and it was like overhead of me, and I was peeking up once in a while, like, nah, no, not gonna watch, not gonna look. Oh, these sounds, come on, give me some music on my headphones. I can't stand it. So even then, it's just so not my thing. But I enjoy the game so much, and that is a true surprise of a major board game, like not a dinner game. So loved it. How about you?
So the thing she laughed about, the first 2 titles on this list are Surprise, Surprise, DuckTales and Sushi Dice. So there's that is really hard to rank as well. DuckTales as a game is a surprise because it kind of came entirely out of left field and
out of nowhere.
Now the kind of excitement went a bit down, but it's, if I have to say, that is the first title that came to mind, thinking about a pleasant surprise that I did not expect to be good or anything that I haven't known before at all. And the second one being Sushi Dice, but that being a surprise for a different reason. So when we played that, I enjoyed that. What surprised me is how popular that is with our gaming groups. How
all the different ones.
Yeah, how everybody really, really likes that game. And it's so simple, but it is kind of I don't want to say the love letter dice, but it is as loved by almost everyone in our group as Love Letter is as a card game. So is Sushi Dice loved as a dice game across all ages, across all gaming groups. So that is kind of surprising for such a simple game, which is great. So Personally, I wouldn't even rank it that high. I would put it on the same kind of...
It's a dinner game.
Yeah, for me, it's on the same level as the how's it called, the dungeon roll game.
That was pretty much the same thing for me, but last year. That was dungeon roll, same experience, same surprise.
So that so that's a thing. Then there's a couple of things that are surprising for very different reasons. One of the games on this list is Legendary Encounters, which is surprising, but for an entirely different reason than...
So the Alien Legendary, sorry, it's the same name.
The game is called Legendary Encounters from the Legendary series, but it's all about aliens.
So we talk about the same game here.
That is, the surprising to me is, first of all, it's a franchise game, and it's good, which is one thing. The thing that really surprised me is how well it transports the story of the movies. So we played the first movie and it touches all important moments of that movie and has you deal with that in a gameplay fashion that is not as typical for game adaptations of movies, where you kind of there's a little bit of story fluff under the card, but the game itself doesn't really do much in representing the story in terms of gameplay. Here it's literally the ship crash landed and you get attacked by a facehugger, and then you put a chest burster in your deck that bursts out sometime later, which is amazing. And then there's androids coming up, and they only come up in the third act of the first movie, kind of thing. And
I think that should be the next reviewed game on the Gamers Couch. Yeah, just a little teaser here.
It's I'm actually, we just played the first movie 3 or 4 times now, and we finally beat it once during that. It's fun. It's great in terms of artwork. Other than other people here on
No,
this
I like the
thing.
craft.
Totally.
The lines
I
are
actually
very nicely done.
I don't like the
It's-
craft. I like the pictures.
It's the theme that I'm just like, ugh, too well done, like too real. You know what I mean? It's like, I can pretty much feel the slime on my fingers. I'm not, no,
There's
not good.
in other terms or honorable mentions, things that surprised me, which I did not expect to like as much as I do, those are two games that kind of do the same thing for the same reason. Marvel Dice Masters and Golem Arcana. For two reasons. First of all, I did not expect Dice Masters to like it as much as I would expect it to like. But for me, it was like kind of the. I was going in expecting to like it as much as Sushi Dice or as I said, Dungeon Roll. But I really like this game. Adding superheroes, Marvel superheroes to that does help a lot, and the thing that actually surprised me a little bit more is how much you like it, despite it being very magic-y. It's kind of that is kind of what surprised me, is that they managed to put the things I like about Magic into a dice game and streamline that to the point where you actually like it.
Yes, and that's exactly the thing. They streamlined it to the point where I say, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Also, and I will go into that way more once we have the Dice Masters on the Gamers Couch, it's a dice game. I love dice game, and it has the lightness of Sushi Dice and the heaviness of Magic, but all the good things combined into one game. How could I not love that?
Yeah,
and of course, I gifted it to you, so I have to like it.
It is certainly the thing I like about it was more the realization of like, hey, Sarah actually likes it, and that is kind of, hey, cool. Now we can both go all in.
Yeah. He was allowed to buy the booster packs and all of that, and we were sitting here like little children unpacking the booster packs, like only 80 to go, only 90 to go, la la la.
And another game that surprised me in the same way would have been Golem Arcana or Arcana, wherever you are, in terms of accessibility. I mean, this is a skirmish tactical game that typically comes with a lot of rules. And what's great about it, when I asked you, so do you like this after we played?
Yeah, we played it
through the first couple of missions, and you said, that was surprising to me, because you're typically
I'm not the war gamer, moving huge armies and remembering how many points, how many centimeters, all of that. But the good thing is all of the, crap that I don't like about these kind of games is done by an app for you. Yeah. So all the things that I like about these kind of games, you can concentrate on them, and all the stuff is done by the app. So these kinds of games, I would not play them the traditional way, but this is a level where I say, hey, I like it.
I think Star Wars X-Wing is kind of the upper level you're willing to go in terms of playing. Yeah,
but there again, X-Wing, hey, come on, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, true. Come on. I mean, I could see, I think you would also enjoy the Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm very sure. I'm very curious once you have Warzone done. I want to give it a try, and I want to see if is the point where I say, I don't like it anymore.
Get out your measuring tapes. We need more laser pointers.
If it's too much, or if it's still in the realms where I can stand it. But I know that very many games, like traditional Warhammer 40k and stuff like that, I would never play those. Even looking and watching while other people play. Oh gosh, no! Give me something to knit or a good book. So, not my kind of game. But again, I'm very happy that there is a game that only focuses on the things that I like and has everything else handled by an app.
Yeah,
So good thing.
So what? As I say, I'm kind of surprised in two stages. First was a surprise for me because I kind of like these games, and I was surprised how easy it was to pick up and learn. It kind of has no manual; you just start out and do that stuff. And I was even more surprised to see how it does that so well that it is even able to get people on board who typically don't go for that kind of game. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's my surprise games kind of thing.
So now you got to start again and tell me, what is your game disappointment? I only have one on that list.
Yeah, I have.
Because I was very disappointed with one game.
I have a couple of those now, and those are like roughly things that really annoyed me this year in relation to games. One, and we talked about these games just now. One being, for example, Legendary Encounters. Which is super annoying if you open a game and find out that out of the whatever 400 cards, 50 are missing. And you have to kind of contact the guys on another continent to specifically, you have to find out which card is missing, write to them, send proof to them to show that. I mean, that can happen, but if you go online and see that you're like one of a lot of people where that happens. I mean, it can always happen that something is bad with the production runs.
Yeah.
But if you find out that like everybody's running into that issue,
but I mean, just the comparison between Alchemists and Legendary Encounters in that part.
Yeah,
this is how you do it. This is how you don't do it.
I mean, they actually I think Alchemists took longer to send the stuff, but
yeah,
then
it was longer,
still,
but it was
it was
production.
Still usable.
Yeah, it was usable meanwhile, and they didn't make such a fuss about how you want to prove if you how you bought that game when you buy it at Spiel. So you don't get a receipt.
You could ask for a receipt, but yeah, and all being said, that had been done in 3 to 4 weeks was still all right in my book. I mean, it's getting stuff sent from the US over to you.
Yeah, I get it.
The other thing that I was kind of disappointed with this year, and this happened on more than one occasion, but very specifically with the Warzone Kickstarter, having to communicate after every single bit because then something got forgotten, and that happened in other Kickstarters for me this year as well. But guys, there must be, even if this is your first thing, there must be a way for you to A, keep track of what you haven't sent to someone, and B, well, to actually say, yeah, we know that this happened, and not just send it out and maybe they notice, maybe they don't, and if they don't, like, oh, we don't care. And
yeah, it's so easy to leave a note in the package saying, hey, this is the first go. We know that this and this and this is missing. Once we have it, we will send it.
Is it more work?
It would be so easy.
Yeah, but that being said, you kind of asked for it when you got the money via using Kickstarter, and even if it's your first one, I mean, there's some kind of, things you kind of expect, and that is quite disappointing. And the last one is actually a game, and that is, again, Golem Arcana. And it's like, huh? How could that... There's one aspect I'm very sad about, and that is keeping in mind that I really like Shadowrun and Battletech and all that stuff. I really like those worlds created, and I am kind of disappointed that Golem Arcana does not really have a lot of fluff, or at least kind of doesn't do a lot to get me engaged in the world, into the background story. It's like, yeah, there's golems, there's wizards, and somewhere on the internet is a webpage where there's someone describing kind of. And if I buy such a game, that is kind of going in with the wrong expectations. But buying such a game, I was at least hoping for some more fluff in there, some more explaining going on.
It could be even with the app.
These are the factions, and specifically with the app. I mean,
it could do that. It doesn't have to be on the physical parts, but it could be like an intro at the app or something that you could skip if you wanted. But
I don't want full-blown cutscenes, but give me a little bit more than just, hey, you have folks crashing next to each other. I mean, even Even stuff like X-Wing has that. You play a mission and it comes with a whole text saying, the rebels are trying to blah, blah, blah. And this is the situation and so on. Yes, that's there in part, but that is a big difference. With Star Wars, you already know kind of what's going on from all the other sources, so they can get away with that. But if you have a game that is entirely new with an entirely new world, you kind of want to weave that into the standard gameplay.
Yeah.
And that is literally not something I'm really angry about or something here. It's kind of
just like,
I expected something different from the guys I know, that because they do such a phenomenal job in so many other games, that I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, because you were expecting that you get the same level of awesomeness in this particular game as well.
And now it's your turn.
Yeah, with me it's just one game. It's a dinner game that we bought and tried, and there's a whole series of it, and I can tell you, we won't buy a second one. And that is Mystery Rummy, because it's just like, what the fuck?
I already erased that from my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the game states that you play Rummy and you have like a mechanic changed from game to game. Like there's an Edgar Allan Poe, there's I don't know, Sherlock Holmes and whatnot. So every other game has, or they all have a different kind of mechanic added to the normal Rummy mechanic, and that was just not visible. I mean, we played the game and the mechanic could just be left out. It did nothing for the game, and for that, I could just play a normal round of Rummy, which a card deck would cost me like 150 or €2, and the other one is like 8, 9, 10, 12. I don't know how many euros we paid for that. So it's just like, what the heck? For a mechanic that you could leave out, that does nothing to the game, and that it's just like, meh. It's even to the point where I liked it less than the normal traditional Rummy. And that is something, because usually, I mean, I'm even happy about a nice artwork, cool quality components, all of that. There was nothing in there that said, hey, there's something good to the game, even it's not, if the main mechanic is just not there. So he even erased it from his head. So it's just like,
it's just boring.
We threw a couple of bucks out of the window for nothing, but it's just like, I was disappointed about that, because how could you? I mean, it's just, anyways. We are there. Favorite games 2014. Not only the published ones, but the ones that we played.
Published on this channel. Not published in 2014 by a publishing company. Like...
No. Like, it could be older games, but we liked them a lot, and just the ones that I loved to play most.
So I picked only ones that we got in 2014 to limit it down.
I have one on there that we did get in 2013. All the others are 2014.
Did we already played in 2013?
Yes, we did.
Okay. So Love Letter.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, please guess my other ones. I have 4 more. Let's see.
4 more. So in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say there's Marvel Dice Masters on there, because you kind of seem to enjoy that.
Nope.
No, you don't. Okay.
I do, but it's not my favorite games. And I'm not going only for December, but for the whole year.
For the whole year, okay. I mean, there's so many games.
There's games
Ghost,
like
Ghost Stories is certainly always.
Just to interrupt you there, Dice Masters will be there next year on that list, just because it will have gotten way more playtime. But I went for, what did I ask you to play things like that over and over again.
Well,
so
then that is
Ghost
quite
Stories
easy
is
because,
on there.
and also unfair because we play the small games way more often than the big
all
ones.
the others on. Oh, there's one more small game.
I was about to say, so in terms of how often we played it, Love Letter being the first, and then
I enjoyed it so much.
followed by Quicks as
that is not on the list.
as a strong second. That would be the one we played most.
Yeah.
It's
one.
No, you go ahead and
Sushi Dice, Quirkle, and Sentinels of the Multiverse. Love those games, and love to play them over and over and over again this year, throughout the year. So
Quirkle, I think we haven't had here. If you look it up, it's a set matching game similar to Rummy Cup or different games, but
Spiel
with
des
colors.
Jahres 2011.
With colors and shapes, and you just score points.
Yeah, this was, by the way, the Christmas gift for my parents this year because they're, I don't know, süchtig?
Addicted.
Addicted.
They're addicted
to that game, so it's great. So Santa gave them to you. Yeah. By the way, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th. So on the 25th, I got a message from my mom. Hey there, how are you doing? Dad and I have a fever. And I said, oh my gosh, no. Oh, how are you doing? Are you okay? You need anything? Get well soon, blah, blah, blah. And she replied saying, yeah, well, thanks for the good wishes, but the Quirkle fever is not gonna go away that soon. So they must have played the whole 25th only Quirkle for hours and hours. So, yeah. So what are your games?
So my favorite games of this year in order on third place, that's Marvel Dice Masters. This grows on me, and the thing is, just this week I restrained myself from ordering more display packs over some weird channels and getting them just by saying I want to wait until we get the storage box from another Kickstarter and then see how much space we still have left to get stuff. Then on second place for me, and this sounds terribly like Cult of the New because they're so those are all games that are fairly new. But on second place, because I love the universe and I really enjoy that game, is the Witcher adventure game.
Oh yeah, that will be
which is just, I enjoy the characters, as I said, and I like how they are different from each other. And it's a thinky game, but it's like the very middle ground kind of thinky game where you run around, do stuff, have quests, and I just enjoyed it. I couldn't even say like this thing that it does is very special over anything else. It's just one of the things where I'm just a fan of the Witcher stuff, and I mean it is I would say my favorite role playing game on the PC still. So yeah. And on number one is Alchemists. I really like deduction games. I really like Euro worker placement games, and that it just combines all the good stuff in it. So yeah, those are the three of this year. Honorable mentions. If I would have said of all time,
all of those on the shelf.
So as I said, stuff we got in this year, that kind of is the reason why it rules out stuff like Sentinels, which we got last year already, I think.
No.
Did we get it this year?
Yeah, when Jim was here in May.
Oh god. Damn.
That's why I was surprised now, but I guess that's place number 4 then.
Yeah, no.
Because we were shopping.
Sentinels would be on 2. I was under the impression that
we were shopping with Jim in May when we got Sentinels.
I was under the impression that we got Sentinels in last year.
No.
Yeah.
No. But there's like so many good games there that we got this year. And
yeah, it's so that
Five Tribes is also very high on my list there.
There's so many great games that came out this year, and that we got, and there's not one way I'd say this is the runaway hit of the year.
No.
At least not yet. There's a couple of games we want to try out, like Spyfall.
Yeah.
And
Aquasphere, we have to
and
try games, Camelot
Redacted.
thing,
yeah. Although that
the
is an older
new
game.
Space Cadet
Yeah.
expansions, we gotta try them. So we have one of these boxes
There's
in the
a lot
shelf
of game work in
with
front
games
of us.
that we still have to try out at least once before we could film them. We haven't even tried them, and there's like 5 or 6 games there.
Yeah, so Sentinels is.
It's very.
I would put Sentinels on second place. Well, I might make that up later in another category.
Yeah.
One of now we had favorite games. One of let's have a surprise category.
Oh yeah, go for it.
What is the game that we got this year that has your most favorite components?
Ooh. Oh, that's mean.
I know. I can tell you 3 right away.
I would have said Zombicide just because you painted them all, but we didn't get it this year. We bought that last year.
But I painted them this year.
So then, is that
Yeah.
yeah?
That for me is on my list of top 3.
So even the figurines were just finished this year is valid. So then we got Zombicide, we got Mouse and Mystic, because you painted the mice too, and they're just lovely. I'm
sorry, we're looking always at the time at the shelf.
I really like the components of 5 Tribes. I really like the wooden pieces. They have nice shapes, nice colors. So I like those a lot. Camel Cup is quite close. Also very bulky, lovely camels. But again, now I like the alchemist stuff too a lot. Sorry.
I like all the games.
No, component-wise, no, I don't. Difficult. Hoo-ha. I mean, I like the ones of Lords of Xidit a lot. I mean, Cash and Guns is just hilarious with the foam guns, but that's not
you
like
have to decide on them. You don't have to.
No, I'm just let me go through the.
Otherwise,
I also like the Ludwig stuff.
Swing the camera.
I don't like, for example, I can tell you Golem Arcana will not be in there just because the paint job isn't done well. Oh, Cold Express is also awesome. But only for people that don't have big hands.
I was waiting for you to get to that.
Yeah, but I'm going like in a circle, but not with a big hand. So my dad will have trouble
while you were thinking. So there's, I have to split that up because I'm cheating all the time, as you may have noticed. So Zombicide.
That's on there.
In terms of self-painted stuff, and yes, then I would also include the Mice and Mystic stuff.
Yeah.
And the third one being on self-done, or at least print and glue. We did a lot of Sentinel stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And I really like how they turned out, with the oversized cards with life counters. There's really great internet page.
Since I was allowed to put Zombicide and Mouse and Mystic on one point, I do have 5 Tribes for the wooden parts on second. And on third, for cardboard pieces, I actually like how Flashpoint was done. Very well cut. Nice quality of the boards. It's they have like a laminated thing ongoing, but not really. No offset print, nothing. So
In terms of games that came with components, I've got to say, Lots of It is pretty great.
That's 4.
I love all those small minis.
And Cold Express is 5.
Cold Express is also on my list of really, really good components that I.
Now I know why they do a top 10 and a top 100 at the Dice Towers and not a top 3 or 5.
Even that is quite difficult. And I have to say, to have one card game on there, Legendary also gets in there because it has a very nice playing mat, and the card quality is. I like that very much.
Now I have something for you, a surprise category. Since you were with the components, of the games that we got this year, what are the best inlays of the boxes and what are the worst?
Best. So there's.
Well, you could,
wait,
if you're a game
hang on,
publisher, you could really make us happy with good inlays.
Yeah, there's.
It's one thing to get the game even more out.
I remember that this year I opened a couple of boxes and I was literally looking at that and saying, "This is really great."
This is how you do it.
One is certainly Cold Express, which comes with stuff to put the trains in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about we had another game that fit perfectly with all the
Five Tribes was very
components. Was it Five Tribes?
Yeah, it was very well.
And it's like there's 2 or 3 games this year where I literally opened it and said, "Wow, you can play this game out of the box."
Yeah,
which
it's supposed to be played. Takenoko is pretty much there.
Yeah. That is nicely done. In terms of worst, again, Golem Arcana and Legendary, 2 games that's so polarizing. But Golem Arcana, it is actually an okay box. The problem is the thing where the minis are in is so tight that you always kind of scared to put them out. You might break something off, and I might have to come up with a solution to store those guys in a different fashion.
Yeah, maybe we just make one inlay of our own foam board or something.
And Legendary, I mean, come on! I've seen that Marvel Legendary even has card dividers with stuff written on them, and that's from the same company. But why not have it like Sentinels and have just some nice cards in between? It's just it's like
$5 more in production.
Yeah, or at least have spaces in some kind of fixed spaces in between. I wasn't happy with it.
It's just a shame, and we're gonna have our own inlays for these 2 games very soon, I can tell you that. Yeah. But looking... Well, what else was there? Well, there's some behind the second couch that we can't see anymore. Well, there's, of course, as always, companies who do that well is, for example, Yellow with King of New York, King of Tokyo. They have great inlays. Like them.
Well, how about this? We make a small break because my coffee is empty.
Yeah, mine too.
Someone else might cut this short for you to not
2
look at the
nanoseconds.
shelf all the time, but come up with an answer right away after this cut.
And here we are again.
Yes.
Wasn't too long, I hope. So, my best inlay things, only of the ones that we got this year. Okay, Cold Express, Takenoko, and 5 Tribes.
Okay. So, in addition to the favorite games, we actually have another thing that splits that up, which is sort of redundant, but it's a best cooperative game and best competitive game.
Can I throw something in? Do you wanna split those 2 categories into 2 subcategories, like real game, proper game, and dinner game?
No.
Good.
It's and I would
because that would give me 4 choices.
Since the other thing was favorite games of 2014, I would then say let's have the best games of our entire collection that we played.
Boy. Now I have to rethink because I just went with the 2014s. Oh, let's say 2014, and if we have another one as well, we might add it, okay? So, which is yours for co-op?
Do I still have to start?
Yes.
Okay. So for a co-op game, and that is a game I will probably almost never turn down to play, that is still Sentinels of the Multiverse, which is like the co-op game that where we have the most stuff for, and it's just fun to play. I could also say that games like Pandemic, either the regular co-op game or the Cure, could be honorable mentions for being a bit more accessible or more mainstream for other folks. But if I have to pick a second and third place, then I would say Shadowrun Crossfire is pretty high up there as well, and the Pathfinder adventure card game, because some people seem to not like it. For our group, it is
Perfect.
pretty good. It's just fun to go through the story of Pathfinder, and yeah, it's a nice thing to have something to keep on going through.
So, okay, now you have to look at the camera and I have to look at the shelf because I need to have my third game. But first of all, number one, and that's the 2014 game, is Haha Sentinels. So, love that game. The second one that we didn't buy this year is Zombicide. I really, really like that game. And one day we will have at least one expansion.
We have multiple expansions already.
We have the dogs, but
Yes.
I mean like
Really?
the blue or the green one.
Oh, someone has to paint them.
Yeah, I know. I have to keep you occupied. And the third one would be...
Quick.
Is it okay? Yeah, Ghost Stories still.
Oh.
I'm so lame.
I'm surprised that Ghost Stories is not on first place for that.
No, because the first one was... I did choose my games with the thought that we got in 2014. I didn't go, like, off the shelf.
Yeah, but obviously the favorite games of 2014 and the best games of 2014 would overlap, so...
Yeah, but... it was the best gaming moment, like getting that far.
Yeah.
So it's on the list. Exchangeable from 1 to 3, so 1 could be 3 and 2 could be 1 and whatnot. So I go first with the best competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the camera nicely while I search for the other 2. And I do have my first one, and that is Alchemists, the 2014 board game. Loved it, still love it, and I'm not getting tired of it.
It's almost like we did not prepare any lists at all. Yeah.
The other ones, well, lots of Waterdeep is still very high on my I love this, and Love Letter. So lame again. I know, but that's just me.
Makes sense. So yeah, so for me, obviously Alchemists is on there because, well...
Number 4 is Dice Master, by the way. Just because it didn't get too much playtime yet. Anyway, sorry for interrupting.
Okay. Then in terms of competitive game, now this may sound weird, but I do not I did actually not really consider party games for the other list, so I'm gonna put it on this one, Cash and Guns. I really enjoyed that, playing with everybody else.
The dudes.
And that is also a game with really good components. It's just great fun to bring out and play also for all age groups, and kind of has shares a spot together with Masquerade, which I almost find it a little bit easier to bring out than Resistance, simply because you can start with 3 players already to hand that out, and you don't need a full set of 5 to do that. In other terms, competitive. And now I kind of have to
looking at the camera.
Do a quick look at the shelf if there's something, because this is all time. There's something that would override my opinion on the other one, but I don't think.
You don't think?
So.
Don't go around the shelf and look at the lower parts. There's Andor is down there, then Mansions of Madness, and the lots of Waterdeeps.
Yeah,
and the Unplayed.
I don't want to say Dice Masters again.
Oh, it's down there as well. Hey, come on! I said Love Letters so much. You can say Dice Masters.
As that one, but Yeah, that is actually one of the games I thought about the most of all the other stuff. Even though thinking about playing that, but actually thinking about winning it. And yeah, so that's it. I'll go with Dice Masters.
Which one, the Uncanny or the Marvel?
Both. I don't care. And then the last category.
The last official one. Yeah. Which game are we waiting most eagerly for the sequel? And maybe we got the sequel already in 2014, that it was published and or delivered, or that we are waiting for the sequel to come out next year. So both is valid.
So I found when I did this that I am not aware of any sequel coming out for that I would be interested in. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but there's actually a couple of games I'm looking forward to get. So
Okay.
this is my list of upcoming titles that I'm very looking forward to, and one honorable mention of a sequel I would like to see, or an expansion to be perfectly clear. I would like to see to come out and add something specific to a game we already have. But you may start.
Because I do have a list.
Yes, you.
I was looking forward a lot to the second book of Mouse and Mystic.
Oh, so you did what you. So you mean for sequels we already got? That
I said that we are looking forward in 2015, and the ones that we meanwhile maybe even got. Because I'm looking at the whole year of 2014, and in summer I was looking forward to the second book so much.
I was thinking about stuff we did not have yet, or have not played yet, at least.
Have and do still.
Yeah, that's on your thing. On mine it says might have been delivered in 2014.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, delivered, but we already played that.
Yeah, we played it very recently. Like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we played the first chapter. Anywho, Mouse and Mystic, second book.
See, the communication part. Oh, batteries.
Hold on, we're changing batteries. And this is how quickly you can change a battery. So, second one, I'm looking forward to the new zombie side. The one that we are waiting for in German, the green, not the green one.
Oh, it's out already.
It's out, but we don't have it. So, but that's
There's
what I said.
Two.
I know.
Now.
Yeah, but we didn't want to buy one of them because it was very similar to the one that we have, to the basic set. But the other one, the second one with, I think it was the green box.
They are all quite similar.
It had some new mechanics, whatnot. Anyways, at one point we will have the second edition expansion of Zombicide, and the other one that I was waiting for a lot and that we got and played the first round of last night was Andor, the new North Sailing expansion box.
Okay.
So, but then again, I really like these storytelling games like Mouse and Mystic and Andor, although they take quite a bit of time to set up. But yeah, I like to play those with a big board and a lot of items. Also, The Witcher is in that realm, by the way. Takes quite a bit to set up, has a huge board and a lot of little pieces, but I love it.
Also, no expansion.
Yeah, no, not the expansion thing, but the type of...
I see.
We need the huge table thing.
I see.
So, how about you?
Things I'm looking forward to. As I said, it's more games I'm looking forward to, and one or maybe even two expansions. One expansion I'm very certain we will see somehow, because that's kind of inevitable. That will be the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion for Marvel Dice Masters. I'd be very surprised if that isn't a thing that will come up. I have actually not looked into what the next series is or what they want to do. We just got the Uncanny X-Men stuff, and I'm kind of not that deep into the looking forward to what they will do as the next thing. But I would assume that it makes sense from a business perspective to come up with something that at least has a tree, a raccoon, and a Star-Lord on it.
Yeah.
And maybe Gamora.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the games I'm looking forward to, or let's do the expansion. A game I would love to see an expansion for that adds more story and more missions and maybe a bit more game mechanics is actually Shadowrun Crossfire.
Yeah.
It comes already with 2 or 3, I think, missions.
I think it was 3.
Which you are supposed to play over and over again, and that is kind of one of the
Not
things
playing, losing.
that kept me from grinding, because I kind of afraid of that getting a little bit boring playing the same mission over and over. And yes, I get the argument, and I even said it myself, in other games like Dominion you don't have different missions. I would like to see an expansion that adds more kind of settings, more kind of missions and win conditions to that, just to make it, well, alternate a bit more. If there's 5 or 6 different things where you may have draw it randomly, or maybe you don't even know what's going to happen because it's some kind of like system with Andor where you don't really know what's going to happen next, or stuff like that. So that's a game I would like to see an expansion for it. Looking to the next year, stuff I'm excited about to play. XCOM, the board game, which was supposed to be out already, but Fantasy Flight kind of decided to release Imperial Assault early, which might also be on the anticipation list. I mean, we are all Star Wars fans, but not too big on the one player versus all the other players Descent-like games. Mm-hmm. Then again, I guess we might get it at one point or another and just try it, because I just heard that it's supposedly really good also on the story adventures on it. Another game that is actually kind of contradicting what I just said, because it is exactly the game, but there's a tiny sentence. I think the designer or publisher said on the Dice Tower Gen Con or BGG Con podcast. I don't remember
any of those.
And that is Spectre Ops. Why? Because he's mentioned the 3 magical words that gets my attention immediately, which is
food,
Metal Gear Solid, and having a game that is kind of, it is not in the same universe, obviously, because it's not the same franchise, but that was inspired by games like Metal Gear Solid, with having this high-tech agents, spies going through and doing that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that, and excited to play that. And the third one, which I hope we'll finally see in 2015, is also, I think, the first Kickstarter I supported, which would be Kingdom Death. And if you take umbrage for whatever depiction of women or men in that game being barely clothed, I don't care. I don't care about the pinup stuff. I care about the game, and what I've seen so far, what they released so far, looks really interesting. Having the kind of raid boss fight as your day-to-day gameplay mechanics, but also building the village and enhancing your civilization, trying to survive, and coming back with loot, with materials you gathered from slain monsters to build new stuff, to either upgrade your building capabilities or to upgrade your character with new weapons. It's just something that looks and reminds me so much of Monster Hunter and other games that I really enjoy for those mechanics. So those are the things I'm looking forward to.
How about Dead of Winter?
For next year. I'm also looking forward to Dead of Winter, but I kind of already I am in the mindset that I know that I will like that, and there's not a lot of,
it could be one of those games that you know you will like, but the extent of liking could be surprising, like with Dice Masters.
I'm beyond the point of hype, kind of, where we will get that game. I'm very confident that I will enjoy that, but I'm currently, from my state of mind, I could be disappointed by it, or I could just say, yeah, this is a good game. But I'm not in the point anymore where I will be surprised by it being great, because...
No, it's just by you expect it to be really cool, and then it does something that you did not expect, but that makes it even cooler.
Well, maybe
So maybe that happens, but excuse me.
we'll find out.
Yeah, one day. So, all in all, was it a good year for board gaming things?
Yeah.
I think so too. And what did board games do for you this year? Was there anything particular where you said, hey, this was just something that...
Like lessons learned from...
Yeah, or something where you enjoyed yourself and you did not really plan on that, or something where you said, I know that board games do that, but I'm very happy that I saw that in this and that particular surrounding situation, circumstance.
No, I don't.
Computer says no.
Yeah, I don't. I'm.
Computer says I don't like board games. I was just about to say he's gonna slap me.
No, I don't. I don't think so. At least I wouldn't. There's nothing that comes that springs to mind immediately on that account. No. There's something for.
Well, there's a lot of things. No, I just said that just to say something.
So you said that to just sound clever and.
No, but I do actually have these kind of occasions. Don't look at your phone. Look either at me or the camera.
I was looking at the time because we're going to pick up someone soon.
Yes, for gaming. No, but the thing where here, little background story. We always played board games, and we got back into the hobby like heavily in 2012. Before that we played a lot of games, but more on the video games. As kids, we both played a lot of games. But 2012, I was sick home for quite a while, and while playing board games.
2011?
12, I said.
Oh, okay.
Listen, comprehend.
Because otherwise it would have been 11 and not 11. But yeah.
But I'm an elf with pointy ears.
We're dying from.
No, where was I?
In 2012.
Oh yeah, in 2012 I was homesick for quite a long time, and board games were kind of like the easy thing, or the helping along, getting healthy again, and just getting back some lightness in day-to-day life. So we have something, or I had that same similar whatever feeling this year, because somebody in my very close people group, like family and friends, is very severely sick currently, and I'm taking care of him one specific day of the week, and whenever there's no treatments, we play games. Tons and tons of board games. And when you get, in the mornings, you get an SMS saying, can you bring this and that game today? Or how about that and that game? It's just lovely to read that and enjoy the whole day just playing and taking your mind off. It's really nice that this did not only happen with me being sick, but again now, so that board games is a mechanism to cope with shitty stuff. Just playing them and getting your mind off for a while. I really like that. And it was just that moment when you realize, okay, so that's not rare. That's something you can actually plan on or take advantage of. I really like that this year in terms what board games did. And of course, it made us sit here every Sunday together for about an hour and just have you and me time with a camera, and not in the naughty way, but talking board games and just enjoying the time. I really liked the Gamers Couch, and first it was talk o'clock, but then having enough time to spend and feeling comfortable and good with saying, hey, we're gonna split that from all the other vlogs, and we'll create a board gaming vlog that we will post something every Sunday, and that you are willing to join me on this lovely couch, otherwise it wouldn't be as funny.
Yeah.
And so I really like that.
Unfortunately, we still haven't figured out how to make this show 30 minutes or less.
Yeah, just because we talk so much.
Sorry.
But then again,
yeah,
not really. I mean, yeah, I would love to have it just 30 minutes, but we already talk fast, so I can't even speed up the video. Otherwise,
yeah.
we sound like Smurfs or something. It's not sexy. No. Yeah, so I really like that board games did that for me in that sense.
I mean, to be fair, this year also board games has been the major way of keeping in contact with friends by just scheduling time to play together, and because it didn't work out with time for other stuff or things like that. But it's nice that that keeps working.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 gaming groups. It also, I mean, it's rare enough that you have a very healthy family life, that you have a very good connection and pretty much a friendship with your parents and your in-laws. Then on top, they like parties like playing board games.
Nobody likes their parents.
I mean, I know
apparently
enough families that the girls don't like their mothers-in-law and whatnot, like the whole cliche thing. I know a couple of people experiencing that. So we are very lucky that we are also friends with our parents and in-laws. They both both pairs like board games, and we schedule time like once a month with both of them. So pretty much every 2 weeks we schedule time with a lovely dinner and just playing 2 or 3 games. So that's really, really nice. I like that.
Well,
and of course we like you, because you're watching every Sunday.
We like you to come back next year
too.
also.
That too. And thanks very much for enduring the silly stuff that we talk sometimes. I hope you enjoy the German lessons every week. Do you have one this week?
So, New Year in German is Neujahr. So, go with that into the neues Jahr.
Yeah. Guten Rutsch.
Guten Rutsch, which is like
Happy New Year.
happy slip and break your bones on the street in German.
Yeah, but it also means Happy New Year. Anyways,
it's mostly about because it's slippery outside now because snow. Because
today it snowed.
Today it snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you very much for watching all the episodes. We hope you will come back next year.
We hope that you watched all the episodes. If not, you still have some time before the year's end. So go ahead and watch all of them.
Yeah, we do have a playlist. We're a good, organized channel. Also, the schedule for the next year stays the same. In case you haven't seen the Talk O'Clock 74, where I talk about the new or reworked schedule for the whole channel, and it also says something about the board games, which is still on Sunday every week. And I can give you a teaser already. In the next episode, we're going to talk either about Legendary Encounters or The Witcher. These are my 2 choices, and you pick one of them.
Or Code Express.
Nope.
Or Betrayal.
Nope. These are my 2.
Or.
Don't tease all of the ones that we're gonna. No. It will be one of the 2. You will pick between Witcher and Legendary Encounters, and we will see you hopefully back next Sunday. Thank you very much for for watching. Like, share, subscribe as always if you haven't and you feel comfy. And of course
because I couldn't hold a board up her face. Goodbye!
I will throw a board into your face. So thanks again. Take good care. Happy New Year. And enjoy with your loved ones or friends. Celebrate. And we're going to see you next Sunday. Goodbye.
Goodbye.